See, that is why I like this build. Like, that's a ton of damage right there. Hey, it's Kyra here, and in this video, I have a very exciting Demon Hunter build that I want to share with you guys here. So I think this is really good. And mainly, it's all about continual damage. And I haven't really seen this too much, but I think this is an incredibly powerful build for PvE stuff. Like, for example, in doing good single target damage, but mainly challenge rifts. I think this is a sick challenge rift build, and I'll have footage here in a second with me commentating on it. But let me go over the build first so you can kind of understand what I'm doing here. And mainly, it's all about this knife trap. And I want to show why I think it's so good. And it's because, just look at this damage here. Well, first of all, let me back up. Rain of Vengeance is a very popular move for Demon Hunters. And it does 19,000 damage over 4 seconds. Whereas Knife Trap, if you get the pants, the Immolation Trap pants, it is 34,000 damage in my particular scenario. Just compare your numbers to it, where it's like almost 50% higher damage here in the same 4-second time period. Then you can get because normally it takes a bit for this to load, whereas you can get the chest piece, and that's going to increase the arming or decrease the arming time by 85%. So you're able to drop these immediately. So 1, 2, 3, and the damage stacks. So you keep all these charges here, but then they can run over these, and it does a ton of damage. Then you can rain on them, and then I've been using this. This is another continuous damaging move here. So you have 3 different moves in here that do continual damage. Then as a third move, I just threw in Vengeance because it's just such a good move where it's going to allow you to attack in a line there. So it's really good for trying to. It's like a good follow-up. You can't move around too much. So I just pop Vengeance, and then I can shoot and move, and it still hits him in a line there. It's not going to proc with the continual damage part, but at least it's something else to have if I want to move. Whereas, because if you do this, you got to be really safe to be able to channel that. But it's a ton of damage if you can actually channel that. Oh, and then another thing that you can't get that I haven't pulled yet that I think would be absolutely nuts is going to be Knife Trap. This one right here, Blade Wings. So Knife Trap maximum active charges increased by 1, and Knife Trap maximum charges increased by 1. So I currently have been doing this with 3 charges, and you can do it with 4. And I'm really looking forward to be able to pull that to make it even better. Then that in combination with the set. I don't have Grace of the Flangent 4-piece set, but we're close to Hell 4, which is going to allow us to get 6-piece sets. And let's look at how good Grace of the Flangent is. So right here, all continual damage, channel damage, and persistent grand damage will increase by 15%. Then the 4-piece is actually really good too. Each time you damage an individual enemy 5 times, you'll do an additional 4,400 additional damage to that enemy. And then each time you deal damage, you have a 4% chance to unleash Lightning Strike, dealing 26,000 damage. So this is almost as much. It's kind of in between the full Fire Trap and your Rain of Vengeance, that it does that much damage to all enemies and stunning them for 1 second. I think this 6-piece set is going to be absolutely insane for challenge rifts going forward, but we just can't pull the full 6-piece yet. And this is in contrast to the typical builds. People use Shalbass with the increased primary attack for Demon Hunters. This is just a nice change of pace. You know, I understand that a lot of people like this set, and I'm not saying this set's bad and this one's better. I just think this is a fun, different build to try for your Demon Hunter. And I've been having a lot of success with it. I think it's actually really good. And before we get in this video, if we can get a like in this video, it'd be awesome. I'm just trying to get an idea if videos like this are actually going to be popular on the channel. If people want to see more of this, please leave feedback down below. If you guys like this, if you want a different style of structure, I'm just really trying to get an idea of what you guys are looking for when it comes to guides on particular classes. It divides the player base down to 1/6 of the player base. I'm just trying to get an idea if this is going to be popular or not. Okay, so I think the important thing to take into account when it comes to these challenge rifts is not necessarily where you're at personally, but the actual spread of combat rating. So right here, so notice that this is red. So I'm trying to punch up by 300 here. So it's quite a big jump in this. And I'm not a fan of this one. So, see, because these people, I dodged these. So I'm just going to back out. Like, each place has their own kind of thing. There's very few of them that are actually possible, in my opinion, to do reasonably with such a big punch up when you're in that red zone. Okay, spiders. Let's see if spiders are good. That tether's rough. Jeez. Yeah, that tether's rough. Yeah, it's not gonna happen. So both those are out of the question. So spiders and then the other one, whatever the hell those are. I like this place a little bit more because it's a little bit more open. Let's see if we can handle these guys. Oh, the archers are insane. Like, they're so hard to beat. And if I die, see, notice how it doesn't tick. So the archers, anything ranged like that is so rough. We're dealing with, yeah, about 340. So I'm taking almost 300% more damage. I think these guys are kind of fine because they only have those things. See how they have a little bit of delay. So we might have a shot here. I'm going to give it a shot. See, that is why I like this build. Like, that's a ton of damage right there. And then imagine with Grace of Flagellant, all of that would have been boosted by an absolute ton. I think we could just run until we find the next spot, and then we'll have our things leveled up, or like the traps back. So see how we can actually dodge these, where the other ones we couldn't do anything. This might be enough enemies that I'm gonna just kill them that are not a blue pack. It's a little risky to use this, but it absolutely shreds. It's so sick. We're doing good on time. So I do want an elite pack. I do want an elite pack here. There is a really good mob density with these enemies, like the bandits. Okay, so you need to know the names of them. So you know what? Let's just take all the ones that I aggroed out. Dodge this thing here. No. That sucks. Yikes. Okay, maybe a little too much. Good damage, good damage. Okay, we'll do this. Scoot on by here, dodge that. Have a little vengeance, get a healing going. Might as well just kill this guy, and then we'll move on. Getting a little unlucky on the elite packs here, but I think we're doing okay on time. There we go, there we go. That's exactly what we needed. We got good mobs, and we got an elite pack here. Need to dodge that. I think this will wreck us. Need to get these guys grouped. Went from unlucky with the elite packs to super lucky with the elite packs. Oh no. Okay. You can just weave that in. Still worth it. Just like that. As you start to kill the ranged, it does so much damage to these big mobs. Look at that. Like crazy. So this part, there's a lot of RNG on which boss you get. Like, you can get a whole bunch of good mobs, but then you're stuck on this boss that's really hard. But I would say the summoner's pretty good. You know, he's not like the easiest, but at the same time, he's pretty easy. Especially as a melee, or as a ranged. I hated him as a melee. He's nice in like a 2-person challenge risk, because one guy can just kite him. But for a single, he was so annoying as a melee. So I can just kite him on everything. Here, I can just ult here and get the minions out of the way. Get a little vengeance going. That's another thing that's nice about him, is that he doesn't have, like, he can't snowball. A lot of these big bosses will spawn minions, and if you don't kill the minions in time, then there'll just be another wave of them. And then so you're just stuck with a shitload of minions, which is really frustrating. So it's like, if you can't kill them in time, you're kind of screwed. Whereas with him, it's kind of fine. Okay, and there it is. And so, kind of legendary is kind of sick. Hopefully it's something new that I've been missing. Oh, just kidding. We already see what it is. It's just this one right here, Icy Path. Well, it feels bad, but we were able to do it. That is an example of being able to go through different challenge rifts. Some of them looked impossible. That one, notice the difference there. It went from like literally dying over and over and over again in the start to, based on the minions that you got, made it incredibly easy. Yeah, so like actually resetting your challenge rifts over and over and over again is totally worth it. Like, that was a, relatively easy run there, nothing too crazy. We did get lucky on the boss encounter, because some of the bosses, I forget their names, but are really difficult. Whereas that one is probably one of the easier ones. That one, and then the orc chick that just melees twice in a row. Like, that one is, in my opinion, the easiest. But both of those bosses are very doable. It's just, the key thing is finding an easy enough minion spot, so when you're trying to punch up 350 combat rating, you can actually have a chance there. So mainly it's going to come down to the speed at which the ranged minions attack. If you can't dodge the ranged moves, then you're kind of screwed. It's just not going to happen. But hopefully that was helpful, guys. I really like this build. This is a lot of fun. Try it out. I think it's going to be way better once we actually get a full 6-piece set of Grace of the Flagellant. I think it's going to be really good. So with that, guys, I'm out of here. Peace.